San Francisco 49ers agreed to a 5-year, $92 million extension with Lenoir, their cornerback. It ranks 12th among cornerbacks with an 18.4 mil average annual salary. He was a 5th round draft pick in the 2021 draft class. So far in his career, he has 6 picks, including 2 this year, 23 pass deflections, a forced fumble, and only 9 tackles for a loss in 56 games. Personally, I was a bit surprised by this move, considering how tight the dollar is going to be for the Niners going forward. I know he's a good corner. I know he's a good piece on that defense. I know the Niners defense has had a lot of picks this past year, and he's definitely a good corner, but it's just kind of surprising timing, all things considered. But it's definitely a good investment. It's a passing league. You need good corners to be successful in the NFL, and good for the Niners. They got one locked up for quite some time. Now, this all but guarantees there will be some major cuts for the 49ers roster in the 2025 offseason. We already knew that with the Purdy contract looming, but this pretty much triple confirms it. You got to think Debo is definitely on his swan song with the Niners, especially with how he acted on the sidelines with Jake Moody and the long snapper. I don't recall ever seeing something like that where a player goes up to the long snapper and the kicker. There's been times in the past where I remember players going up to the kicker and whatnot, but to kind of like slap and choke both of them, pretty crazy stuff, man. And I don't know. I know Debo's the leader in that locker room, and a lot of people look up to him, but do you really want your leader to set that example? Do you really want your leader to be that childish? It's one thing to confront your kicker or to confront a teammate on the sideline, but to be that physically aggressive is just, in my opinion, a lack of immaturity, and having no control over your emotions isn't really a good thing. And I know it's the heat of the moment. I know it's ball. I know armchair critic. I know. But still, bro, like, if we saw it more often, fair play. But, like, that's not a common thing. So if it's uncommon, you're getting paid millions of dollars. I know it's a game. I know it's ball. But at the same time, you got to present yourself in sort of a professional fashion from time to time. And that's just not being a professional. You're getting paid millions of dollars to act like that. Again, if that was a common thing in the NFL for that to happen a lot, okay, whatever, right? The game is the game. But for him to really stand out like that in not the best way, I just think it's not a good look for Debo and the Niners. So even regardless of that little spat, I think he's done with the Niners. They made their move. They really had the decision this past offseason to pay Ayuk or to trade him away, and they decided to pay him. And I feel like the repercussions of that is going to be saying goodbye to Debo Samuel. So if you're a big Debo fan and you're a Niners fan, really enjoy these last few games. I don't know if I really don't know if this team is going to make the playoffs. The fact that they barely beat the Bucs is a huge red flag. I know the Buccaneers are a great team, but they're without Mike Evans. They're without Godwin right now, and Baker almost upset them in a big way. Baker's a beast, man. Baker's just an absolute beast, but still, like, that's a team they really should have taken care of. And I'm not putting it all on McCaffrey. It's his first game back in a minute, and when you have tendonitis in both of your Achilles, you're not going to be 100% right away. So, I don't know, just a red flag right there. So, for sure, Debo Samuel is going to get let go this offseason. Now, the real question is, who else will be casualties of the cap? I really hated the fact that they paid Brandon Ayuk. He does not deserve that contract, and we saw it firsthand this year. Completely unprepared and rusty when he came back to the team and at the start of the regular season. Granted, it makes a little sense, but it's kind of on you to stay sharp and stay ready. And I know, like, you can't practice the timing and the live rounds of the game at home or within your circle, but still, bro, like to come out like that after those crazy standoff negotiations is kind of embarrassing. And I don't really think he's worth that contract. I'm not saying they're going to cut him or trade him, but I don't know. I think I'd consider it if I was John Lynch. I think I would definitely consider it. And I think a lot of Niners fans would definitely be okay if they got off of that contract after a year, after only just paying him that deal. Now they're probably going to cut someone on defense too. Who that may be, I'm really not sure. I don't even want to speculate. But I think I'm going to go on a little hot take here. I know they're probably not going to do this, but we saw what the Niners did without McCaffrey as far as the run game goes. And in my opinion, it was pretty successful. Obviously, no one could really replicate McCaffrey's production, but Jordan Mason did good. Isaac did good. I just feel like if you insert a running back into this Kyle Shanahan scheme, he could be pretty successful. And I don't know how much gas McCaffrey has left in the tank, because we've seen Todd Gurley play at an elite level, and then he just got arthritis in his knee, and he just retired within the blink of an eye. Now, tendonitis in your Achilles, it's pretty serious stuff, man, in both of them. And that's just the only known injury or medical issue he's dealing with right now. I'm sure there's more. I just don't know how much he has left in the tank, and maybe it's not crazy that they cut him. Just because I don't know what their cap situation is going to be like. It could be very, very bad, man, and it'll be a true test to see if the salary cap is actually a thing this year, because in previous off seasons, we've seen teams, quote unquote, manipulate the cap and really just continue to add guys. But if the cap is real, we're going to see some crazy moves from the 49ers this offseason. And obviously, to cut your heart and soul from the team, that's a tough move, but I just don't know how much he has left in the tank, one. And two, I know a good running back can be really successful in this Kyle Shanahan offense. Like, look what Derrick Henry just did. I know he's playing with Lamar Jackson, but even if he went to the Cowboys, I feel like he would have still been that elite level. RBs are a very plug-and-play position. It's not like a cornerback adjusting to a new defense where he's going from man to a heavy zone defense, or even a wide receiver adjusting to a new offense with a quarterback. It's just plain RB. Be a good blocker, carry the ball, truck some folks, and, catch a few passes a game. I know that's an extreme hot take, but they might have to do it. Obviously, I don't want them to do it, but they might have to. Let me know what you think the Niners are going to do this offseason, because they're going to have to cut some guys. Who would you want them to cut? And do you think the Niners are going to make the playoffs this season? I feel like they have to, for the sake and the sanity of everyone on the team and the entire fan base and the entire state of California. But we'll see, man. They're one game back from the Packers currently right now, and the next 2 weeks are massive for them. At home against the Seahawks, must win, of course. The Seahawks are not a good team right now, but who knows, they might get DK back, might add a spark. And then at Green Bay, 425, America's game of the week. That game is probably for their season right there. That's probably going to be it right there, right then and there. So let me know if you think they could make it happen, or do you think they're just going to go out in sort of a pathetic, sad sort of fashion. Let me know in the comments. If you made this far, please subscribe. It'd help out your boy a ton. That's all I got for right now. Peace.